Hi, I just wanted to add a little bit more to your reading as far as the DNA replication and what DNA is concerned. So reading is not too clear on it. If you have not done the reading yet, please stop this at this point. Make sure you do the reading and then come back to this lecture. All right, let's go ahead and start. So you know from your reading that DNA contains the genetic material to create every single cell in your body and is found in the nucleus of every cell. So basically, your DNA in every cell is capable of creating every other cell in your body. That means wherever you're sitting right now, think about this. You've probably deposited a few dead skin cells. In those skin cells is the DNA or the genetic material to create every other cell in your body. Let's really quickly go over what DNA is made of. This is a review from your reading, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this slide. Um, DNA is basically a ladder that's twisted around what we call a double helix. And if we look at this, the legs of this ladder are made of phosphates and sugars, and the base pairs, which are these right here, the rungs of the ladder, are made up of nitrogen-based molecules called adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine. Now here's an important point. When these base pairs pair up, they always pair up in this order. Adenine and thymine always pair up together. Guanine and cytosine always pair up together. Except in this world, we don't really say the name out. We say A and T, G and C. You guys with me? All right. So what we're going to talk about next is how DNA replicates. And what happens is, don't really need to concern yourself about this, but an enzyme basically unzips this ladder down the middle. And as it unzips, free-floating nitrogen-based molecules, adenine and thymine in the cell, come and click into the respected places. And in this way, they create one new strand and one old strand. Now, at this point, I want you to pause this video, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and play a video titled DNA replication. This will provide you a video in order to be able to see this process a little bit more clearly. And hopefully after this video, DNA replication will make a little bit more sense. All right, I take it that you've paused this video, you've come back, you saw the video for DNA replication. We're going to go ahead and move on. DNA, as I mentioned before, contains the instructions to create every single cell in your body. Well, it's compartmentalized a little bit better than just being packed into your cell. If you want to imagine an analogy, DNA is compartmentalized into different volumes on how to create different parts of your body. And we call these volumes chromosomes. So a chromosome is basically a DNA wrapped over and over around itself, making these little tiny neat bundles. And in your body you have actually 23 paired chromosomes, so a total of 46. Now I mentioned 23 paired chromosomes because you get one chromosome from your mother and one chromosome from your father. Therefore you have 46 chromosomes. So let's look at these. So you get 23 paired homologous chromosomes. What the heck is homologous? Or homologous chromosomes are chromosomes that contain similar genetic material. This means if we were to take this chromosome right up here, let's say this one's from your dad, and this bottom blue one, this one's from your mom, they're both going to have similar genetic material. Let's say this chromosome is going to tell your body that you need brown eyes right over here. And right in here, this is going to tell your body that you need blue eyes. So there's similar genetic material, similar instructions for creating different cells in your body. Which one your body listens to? Well, we'll get into that next week. Let's talk about types of chromosomes. This is again a review from your book, but I want to clarify it a little bit for you. So we have two types of chromosomes in your body. There's autosomes, which are chromosomes that are not involved in determining the sex of an offspring. So basically it's divided into chromosomes that are responsible for everything else in your body except the sex of the offspring. And the last chromosome, the 23rd chromosome, is called a sex chromosome, which determines the gender of the offspring. Sorry, gender is a bad word for this, the biological sex of the offspring. These are also called X and Y chromosomes. So all 44 of your chromosomes have nothing to do with determining sex. The last pair do. And the way that it works is all female egg cells, every single egg cell can only have an X chromosome. So this 23rd chromosome is only going to be an X chromosome. Male sperm cells, on the other hand, have either an X or a Y. And in this way, every time that a sperm cell can meet a X female egg cell, it's going to either create a girl or a boy. So if an X sperm cell meets an X egg cell, you get this XX combination, and the biological sex is going to be a girl. Similarly, if this X cell meets this X cell, it's also going to be a girl. This is what we call actually a Punnett square. However, if an X egg cell meets a Y sperm cell, the biological sex of the offspring is going to be a boy. And again, we see on this side, it's going to be a boy. So you can see by this Punnett square that technically there's a 50-50% chance for there to be a boy or a girl by looking at the sex of this offspring. Let's finish this lecture up with just a couple of definitions that are going to come in handy when we look at genetics and how you are created next week. Let's look at locus and allele. So when we look at this homologous chromosome, said to have similar genetic material, we get a little bit more specific in our terminology about what codes for what. So when we talk about locus, we talk about specific location on a gene or a chromosome. So right here, this is a locus. This is given an example. This is a locus for flower color. When we talk about allele, allele is a different form of genes that occur at the same loci. So right here, this is the locus for flower color, and this is the allele for purple flowers. This is the locus for flower color on this gene. This is the allele for white flowers. If this was to be a person, let's say you just disregard this, we can have maybe a locus here for eye color, and it can be an allele for brown eye color, or a locus here for eye color, or an allele for blue eye color. I hope this clarifies a little bit of your reading and makes a little bit more sense. We'll get into how DNA and RNA create you next week, as well as cell replication.